Hello everybody and welcome back to the Sir Alex Ferguson challenge with West Ham. Now I've decided in today's episode we are just going to play through January, so there'll be no live comms of any of the games coming in this episode. It will just be an update kind of video. So as the January transfer window has begun, players have come in who I'd already agreed a transfer for, so we'll take a look at them now. We'll start with Steve Hislop, who we got from Leeds for £1.1 million. The reason I signed him is because he was relatively cheap. He's English, he's a central midfielder. He would fit our system should he ever get to the point where he's good enough for our first team. But for now, just getting someone who's English and a prospect into the side I thought was a good idea. Now this guy, for £10.75 million, he will be going into the first team squad, and I will be looking to either loan or sell Dejan Joveljic to fit this guy in. He's 19 years old. We paid £10.75 million. Was it from Chivas? It was from Chivas in Mexico. And he's just absolutely superb. I mean, look at him. You know, he is the Carlos Fierro of a few years ago. He's absolutely fantastic. So him and Alexander Isak will be competing for our striker spot in the first 11. And I've got a sneaky suspicion this guy is going to take it. Next up is the reason why I'm going to be trying to sell Felipe Anderson during this transfer window. Gonzalo Campos for £1.4 million from Vit Guimaraes, and look at him. 3-star current, 5-star potential, players on that left-hand side as an inside forward. Now, to me, is he already better than Felipe Anderson? He probably is. We'll take a quick look and compare the stats, and we'll see who comes out on top. So, a little bit more speed for Felipe Anderson. Vision's a little bit better. Attacking's a little bit better. Technical, they are well matched. Aerially, Campos wipes the floor. Mentally, he wipes the floor. Defensively, he wipes the floor. And physically, he wipes the floor. So, very different players actually looking at these attributes as they are. And maybe attacking wise, Felipe Anderson does have the advantage with his speed, his vision and his attacking stats. But Gonzalo Campos is, what was he? Was he 18 or 9? 18 years old. You know, he's got 2 more stars of potential to fulfill if he gets to that point. But even so, I'm more than happy to get him. And Moise Kean, them two will be fighting for the left-hand side spot. And again, this guy might topple Moise Kean. Next up was Kevin Restrepo. We're signing for £825,000. He was a centre-back. It's not often you see wonder-kid centre-backs. I'm always finding attackers. I'm always finding strikers. So when a centre-back or a full-back does come up, I do try and snap them up. Obviously, not as much potential as the others. I have offered him out for loan, and he does have bids in, so he will be going out on loan for the rest of the season. But I'm excited to see how this guy turns out. If you look at his physical stats, he's absolutely fantastic at everything bar his natural fitness, which is a bit of a concern actually, looking at it more in depth. But 825 grand, we're going to make a profit on this guy. And if he makes it into the first team, champion. Next up was Jeppe Beck from Bromby. He came in for, I've just seen it and I forgot it already, £1.7 million. He is a striker, and as I said, there's a lot of strikers coming in through my scouting reports. He's someone who, I think he was 4.5-star potential from his scouts. Now that he's at the club, he's only 3.5 star. So we'll have to see how this guy progresses. He does have loan bids in for him, so he'll be going out on loan. Another one that probably won't make it to the first team, but he will make us a profit. And this was the main guy that was coming in during the January transfer window. Brent Beckhardt from Club Brugge for £20 million. That was his release clause. I really wanted someone who was a natural in that Mezzala role to play in central midfield for us. And I think this guy is going to be absolutely out of this world in a few years' time. He will be going into the first team squad. Some people will have to leave to make sure that can happen. But I'm absolutely delighted to get him into the squad. And the last player to join us in January was Floria from Vitorel for £4.1 million. He is a right back, and is a very, very good right back at that. Really, really well rounded physically. Some decent mentals, some decent technicals. Obviously a lot of room to improve in terms of the technical department. But he's 18 years old. He's already in the Romanian setup for the first team squad. And yeah, he's just another one who's probably, he will probably make it into the first team squad at some point. Nothing major to talk about in terms of the outs so far, just a couple of frees that have left the club. Actually, nobody's left the club in January, what am I talking about? But the size of our squad now is absolutely massive. A lot of these players are going out on loan, so it will be trimmed down over time. I'm decided to loan out Matazo, who's been in the first team squad. He's made about 10 appearances so far. Another Belgian who is suitable at the Mezzala role, but with Beckhardt coming in, he's obviously a much better candidate. So we'll get him some long game time out, see how he improves. Joveljic does have bids on him from Hoffenheim, Sporting Lisbon, Sassuolo, Udinese, Genoa and Augsburg, all first team football. So I have decided I don't think I'm going to sell him just yet. I think if he has another season in a top league and he does well, it'll increase his value. He's only worth £18 million right now, so we'll see how it happens with that. And a lot of our squad are actually wanted by bigger teams. I think Emerson is wanted by, not necessarily a bigger team, but Pescara. Aaron Creswell is wanted at his end of his contract. I have offered him a new one. So despite his declining physicals and his declining stats in general, I do want to keep him at the club for the time being. I don't want to sell him just yet. Sandro Tonali is wanted by Liverpool, who are running away with the Premier League, by the way. Lucas Toussaint is wanted by City, Liverpool and Paris Saint-Germain. Tony Lato is wanted by Arsenal, so both of our left backs are interesting, bigger sides. And with Aaron Creswell declining, I might have to look at getting in somebody to compete with Tony Lato for the first team spot, or actually just take over, because Tony Lato is probably one of the weakest members of our first 11 squad. So we'll see how it goes with that. But Alexander Isak's also wanted by Arsenal, Bayer Leverkusen and Real Madrid. So in terms of the transfer budget, we do have £118 million and £286,000 per week available for wages. That was upped in, I think it was either November or December, from 49 to 118. Our finances are looking absolutely excellent. So even if we absolutely blew through our entire budget, our balance would still be absolutely fine, particularly going into the latter stages of the Champions League. Which brings me on to the draw. And we drew Inter. We were the first out of the pot as the away side, and we will be playing Inter Milan in the first knockout round. I'm relatively pleased with that. I think they were a mid-tier side that we could have drew. There was obviously better sides we could have drew as well, the likes of PSV. Porto, I would say, is probably better. Marseille, I'm not going to say is better because they absolutely dominated us a couple of seasons back. So yeah, I think Inter Milan's an okay one to get. In terms of the schedule for January, I've already played one game. Actually, we'll review the fixtures since the last time we met. So after the final game in the Champions League group stage against Roma, we faced Wolverhampton Wanderers at home. Aitor de Paula got himself a couple, Alexander Isak got himself a couple. He missed a penalty in the 91st minute to get his hat-trick, but we got the 3 points, so I wasn't bothered. We then went away to Everton in the Premier League and got beat. We are really struggling for consistent form, particularly against teams that you would expect us to beat, so disappointing to get beat, but we were away from home, so it's not the end of the world. We then went away to Brentford, absolutely dominated and only won 2-0. Alexander Isak getting a 10th minute goal and Aaron Creswell scoring a penalty in the 32nd minute, getting us the 3 points. We then had a home tie against Stoke City where we had a really slow start, where we were struggling to get into the game actually. We were dominating possession but we weren't creating anything with it. But Ronaldo Vieira unlocked their defence in the 44th minute, which did then open the waterworks as Lucas Toussaint got himself a goal, Moise Kean and Dejan Joveljic. And finally, as the transfer window opened, I did play Everton in the FA Cup third round at home. A lot of our new signings started this game. As you can see, we had Beckart started, Campos started on the left hand side and Jaramillo started up front. Beckart got himself 2 and Jaramillo got himself 1, introducing us lovely to the squad. So as for the rest of the games in the January transfer period, we have Liverpool, Man City, 2 really crucial games then. Fourth round of the FA Cup still to be drawn. A Leicester away game and a Southampton home game. So I'll continue on. If nothing happens in terms of transfers, we'll just crack on with the games. I'll show you the results afterwards. But if anything does, I'm looking to sell Felipe Anderson. He doesn't fit in the squad anymore with Campos coming in, and I want to keep Campos in and around. I do have him listed for loan just in case someone came in, and we maybe could have kept Felipe Anderson till the end of the season. But yeah, I want to get rid of him now. Before I crack on any further in the January transfer window, I just thought I'd quickly show you the Premier League table as things stand. We are in 4th position, 3 points clear from Tottenham Hotspur in 5th position, but we are a ways away from Liverpool at the top of the Premier League. So a challenge for the title is pretty much off the cards for this season. We are fighting for Champions League qualification. We are fighting tooth and nail. We are not guaranteed it by any means. So Liverpool has started off bidding for Sandro Tonali just before the game we are playing them. Can't help but think there's a little bit of trying to unsettle me players there, but they came in with about a £63 million offer, depending on clauses being met and things like that. Not something I'm interested in negotiating. Rejected it out of hand. Hopefully he doesn't kick up a fuss. And he's going to kick up a fuss. He's not buying the fantastic prospects we've got. He has accepted the fact that I'm saying you're going nowhere, so probably the best result that could have happened out of the options we had remaining. Liverpool have now made a non-negotiable offer of £84 million, Only £47 million up front and £10 million over the next 12 months. The rest all rely on appearances and stuff like that. Absolutely not. Get that rejected. And the next one up, Real Madrid coming for Alexander Isak. I'm not interested in selling. Go away. So we've just finished the match against Liverpool and we completely dominated this game. They are top of the league. I think they've only been beaten once or twice this season away from home, and we were really unfortunate not to come away winners in this game. Sandro Tonali gave us the lead in the 15th minute, probably trying to advertise himself to Liverpool, let's be honest. But Roberto Firmino equalised in the 57th, and despite our dominance, we couldn't get another goal. So I have just negotiated a deal with a Chinese club, Huaxia Jingfu. That's what we'll go with. £39.5 million for Felipe Anderson. It is a little bit below his value, and perhaps I should be holding out for something more. But I am scared that if I don't get him sold, and I don't want to register him for the squad because of the restrictions that we've got, that his value is just going to tumble. So I'm going to take it. Now Liverpool have decided to try and unsettle Lucas Toussaint. £53 million non-negotiable with only, £39 million up front? I don't think so, lads. Now let's see if Toussaint kicks up a fuss as well. I would imagine he definitely will. Maybe not. Toussaint's a cool guy. We'll probably going to have to sell Felipe Anderson for a lot less than we got from him initially. He has rejected the contract offer from that Chinese club. Nightmare. Lads, we have just completely dominated Manchester City at home. Ronaldo Vieira opened the scoring. Gonzalo Campos took the starting spot from Moise Kean and he rewarded me with a goal. Jonathan Jaramillo, why am I struggling so hard with his name? Whatever his name is, he went in ahead of Isaac, who is still unhappy, and he got himself a goal, and Jonathan Panzo complete the scoring. 4-0. They were in 4th, we were in 5th. So hopefully now we are in 4th. And Liverpool won't let Toussaint go either. £64 million this time. Every single time it's been non-negotiable. It is going to get rejected. And the central midfielders keep coming in. Benjamin Polly has joined us from AS Monaco. Decent potential on the lad. £800,000. He's really, really cheap. Decent starting stats. I give him a first team contract, lads. Why did I do that? We'll try and get him loaned out. He might not take it because he's got a first team contract. He's not going to get me first 11. I don't know why I've done this. I don't know. £800,000 just enticed me. And Liverpool coming in for Tonali will hopefully end now. I have timed him down to a new contract, £120,000 per week till the year 2026, so a new 4-year deal. Hopefully now this will keep him happy at the club. He's absolutely fantastic. Just look at him. I don't want to sell him. I don't want to get rid of him. He is now the highest paid player at the club. So hopefully that'll keep him happy for a little while at least. We've just played Ipswich in the 4th round of the FA Cup and we cannot even beat Ipswich. I mean, we've just stuffed Man City and then we'll go away from home. It was quite an even game actually. They played really well. And yeah, we just couldn't get the goal. And the inconsistency continues. Away from home against Leicester City, we can't put the ball in the back of the net. And we end up drawing 0-0 despite having a penalty in the 85th minute, which Tetier went and missed. We're coming towards the end of the January transfer window and Barcelona have now decided to get interested in Lucas Toussaint and start making offers. I'm not interested in selling Toussaint. He's not one of the players who I wish to leave the club during this transfer window, so I will try and hold on to him as much as I possibly can. And to be fair to the lad, he has not said one bad thing with all the rejected offers we've done for him so far. I can't actually get an offer for Felipe Anderson. We are really struggling to move him on. He's not going to be registered for the rest of the season, so I'll keep trying, but we'll play the Southampton game, then I might wrap up the video, and if there's any other moves, I'll tell you in the next episode. The inconsistency is absolutely killing me. We ended up drawing 1-1 at home to Southampton. This is really starting to affect our league position. I think we were still in the top 4 at the beginning of this game, but I can imagine we are not in the Champions League qualification places anymore. We'll take a quick look here. We are still in 4th with 3 points clear of Spurs, who have a game in hand. We are slipping up something massive here. The last 2 games, Leicester away and Southampton, we're just not being able to score at the minute. I don't understand what's happening, what's changed. We were free scoring at the back end of December, so something's happening with the squad and I haven't quite figured it out yet. But with 2 days of the January transfer window to go, we are going to call it there. If anything major happens, I will update you in the next episode, which will be our 2 ties in the Champions League first knockout round against Inter Milan. If you have enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like, and if you're enjoying my content, get yourself subscribed. But until next time, take it easy.